Edward Guerrero. I am a licensed clinical social worker, MSW, BSW. I work for managed care for Dignity Health. I'm a medical social worker at San Antonio Hospital, Bright Haven Hospice, and Heartland Hospice, currently, at all of them. Grief is going to play a big part in their coping. So that is going to come out as, I like to explain it as, let me give you a demonstration. And I always compare it to a Pepsi bottle or Pepsi can. If you shake it up, all that pressure in a Pepsi can is going to build up because of the carbonated water. And if you allow that to build up, it's going to explode eventually. And if you allow that to come out in that grief and be able to express yourself, you're going to allow that to naturally kind of decompress yourself. And that's where that grief is going to come in. And that's what you want to actually occur. So you have some of those individuals that are with parents in nursing homes that might not have that relationship where they see the decline that's every day or over periods of times. So you might have a delay because you're not seeing the illness kind of come suddenly. Or some people's illnesses are on, how can I say it? Their parents might have chronic illnesses that have put them in this position of they're dying all the time over years. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like Chicken Little. The sky is falling, the sky is falling. And you always get that phone call, oh, mom is dying this time, mom is dying this time. And then all of a sudden you're like, mom's not dying this time, mom's not dying. And then all of a sudden, mom really did die. Mm. So it's that delayed reaction because you got tired of just kind of grieving. So it's going to be that constant rollover. Okay, so you got the Kubler-Ross. That's the theory. So the theorist is Kubler-Ross. You got the denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And any individual will kind of go in between those stages at all times. So just because you cross over one stage doesn't mean you can't go back to it. So depending on the individual and where they're at in their stages of life and their treatment, you'll see them kind of go back and forth. Whether you're on a chemo treatment or at the end of life treatment, you will see them kind of go from accepting their faith and say, okay, I'm ready to go and meet my maker. I'm ready to go see God. And then they might be angry because they've seen a picture of a great grandkid. Or they'll be thinking about what are they going to be missing? Or they'll start seeing them accepting and start giving away their items. So you might see these kind of different things play out. And then you'll see them really kind of bargaining at one moment where they're trying to pray and kind of, well, if you heal me, then I would go to church more. If you heal me, then I would donate more money here. Or if you heal me, I'll do more good in this world. You start seeing individuals start saying and doing things like this. If I get better, I will make better choices in eating, or I'll be a better person. So you start seeing bargaining things like that. You start seeing people giving things away. Individuals kind of go a lot of different ways in these kind of areas. And you just kind of guide them through it. Kind of get them to talk it out, write it out. But you always see individuals kind of go within these 5 different emotions.
I was raised in the Catholic Church, so I was exposed to the message about God and Jesus Christ at an early age, even though it was a shallow message. But obviously it stayed with me because when I was 29, through some of the Bible, God spoke directly to me and revealed to me what Christianity really is supposed to mean. And I made the commitment to follow that way. To me, it's a relationship with the God of the universe. He says that He sent Jesus Christ that we could be made sons of God, children of God. That implies a relationship. That implies an intimacy that's not about following a bunch of rules, but about strengthening that relationship and deepening that relationship. And that's what drives me, is that constant desire for that relationship to deepen and to experience all of what God has for us. In Ephesians it says we are to be filled to the full measure with everything that Jesus Christ is. That includes His miraculous power and everything. First and foremost, He is the Son of God, and we are to be filled with that. We are to live our lives as children of God because He's made us His children. And so that's my whole take on spirituality, is not following a bunch of rules, but finding that intimate relationship that we're supposed to have. As we grow in that relationship, our behavior will change. And it didn't take much longer past the age of 29 or 30. I realized that I was trying to measure myself by other people's expectations. So I was trying to be a man as my friends defined it for me. And I gave up a lot through my early adulthood because I thought that real men don't do this. Having spent time in the Marine Corps, really, hammered, real men do these things, and real men fight, and that was never me. So when I turned 29 and made that commitment, I started realizing that's not me. I don't have to act that way. I don't even like acting that way. This is what I like. This is what I want. This is who I'm going to be. And it really hasn't changed since that point. I am what I am now, and you either take me as I am or you don't. If you don't think I'm manly enough for you, bye. As I got older, I started realizing I feared death, but only because I hadn't reached the potential that God created in me. And I did not want to die without realizing His purpose. Now I'm convinced that I will realize that purpose before I die. And after that, there is no fear of death. The Apostle Paul says to live is Christ, in other words, to do His work, to be His instrument on earth, but to die is to gain. In other words, you go from this earthly realm with all its sorrows to the spiritual realm where you're living with your Father and your big brother, Jesus Christ, for eternity. So I definitely believe in an afterlife. He tells us that much. So death, like it says, where, O death, is your sting? There is no more sting for those that believe. Death is a gain. Death is going on to something much better than this place.